You've been known to talk about joy in the past, and joy is an important component. You define joy.
Yeah, of course. Joy is, in our organization, joy is a critical part of our core purpose, to create joy. And my view is that joy is very different than happiness. That joy, first and foremost, is a product of a shared experience, whereas happiness often is a selfish motivator and isn't necessarily something that relates to other human beings. Furthermore, one of the most powerful things about joy is that it can be experienced even in times of pain and suffering. And only really comes about when we can have a heart and a mind that's focused on gratitude and focused on service to others. When we can get to this place of otherness and selflessness, really grateful for what we've been given and who we are, and everybody in this world has reasons to be grateful. All of us have something to give back, and in fact, many of those that have experienced the most pain and the most suffering have the most to give back. They have the most perspective in terms of what it's like to live a hard life. They're able to see the ends of the human experience, the deep pain, the deep sorrow, the highs, the lows. So I really believe in those moments of pain and suffering, that it's important to recognize that those moments are also gifts, particularly when we can experience those in deep connection and relationship and intimacy with others, with a loved one who experiences those moments together. Those moments are often more prized than the moments of what we would call happiness, or those highs of going to Disneyland or having a great time and laughing at a show. But those moments of pain and suffering shared with others, being able to cry with somebody who experiences that loneliness with you, that pain with you, that sorrow with you, is really what creates joy. Joy is the product of a shared experience. Joy really only comes about by putting others first, by approaching life with a heart of gratitude, by having selflessness, by experiencing this otherness where you're really focused on serving other people. On the other hand, happiness is fleeting. Joy is more of a way of being. And if we can focus on those relationships, and if we can focus on that gratitude, and if we can focus on serving, even when times are tough, and find the gratefulness for those tough times, we're able to get to this place of joy. And a big part of our organization is really about helping people when they're at the worst of their worst. Growing up in Lima, Peru, and for those of you that have been to poor areas across the country or across the world, oftentimes what I hear is when people go to these slums, shanty towns, the kids seem so happy. They're always smiling, and how can they be so happy with all that poverty? And I believe what they're really seeing is not happiness, but they're seeing joy. And the reason why they're seeing joy is because these kids that live in abject poverty, all they have is relationship. All they have is their family. And they need their family to be able to survive, literally to survive. They all sleep on one mattress, a mother and 4 kids together. The oldest kid has to drop out of school to take care of the younger kids because the father abandoned them. They have to do these things to be able to survive. And throughout this, they're experiencing lots of pain and suffering. They don't have food. They don't have clean water. There isn't a sewer. And so why are they smiling? Why do you see this deeper connection? It's because they experience joy. And so often what happens in our country now is that we're void of those relationships. We're void of that connection. That people often find and meet these needs in unhealthy ways, be it with drugs or alcohol or the internet or gaming or isolating. And that does not create joy. So now the people are void of happiness and joy. Somehow in the slums of Lima, Peru, the communities have been able to find, except for those, oftentimes some people resort to drugs and alcohol or stealing, but oftentimes many of them, these families end up tying themselves closer together. So finding that experience of joy, creating joy, is foundational in terms of why I believe I'm here on earth helping people to understand the power of joy, that it's not about finding happiness, that life is not, that nobody has been promised happiness, that it's really not about the pursuit of happiness, but life is about the pursuit of joy through your selfless giving and through a heart of gratitude.